And, yep, okie dokie.
Thumbnail before we go live?
I just did go live. Why, are they staring at me right now?
They're staring at you right now.
Oh, fuck, of course they are.
Lower left corner twice. And they should be able to. And good morning.
Good morning.
How you doing this morning?
I'm a lot better now that I'm not wearing a t-shirt with coffee stains on it on camera.
Live is hard mode. I love this game. So before we get started, got a couple little pieces of housekeeping. Changed a few things on the show. And I'll admit the desk is getting a little crowded with the new mixing board, but I think the audience has mentioned that they appreciate the improvement in sound quality. Plus, we got the soft keys, which are fun. And there's still a couple of technical bugs to work out with the integration of the new soundboard, but it also brings to us the addition of a call-in number, which we might explore later in the show today if we have a little time at the end. Maybe take one or two callers at the end of the show. And then, of course, I've updated the backdrop a bit. We've still got, you see that red box there? That's the signed box from our Roe v. Wade celebration. I'd like to figure out a way to add it to the backdrop a little more permanently as a display piece. And if you'll notice in the lower left-hand corner of the screen there's a little bitty banner that says buymeacoffee.com/brushfiremind. That's right, Danny. We're aping the buy me a coffee thing, and we've seen Danny and Alex having some success with the
Steal like an artist.
What's it called?
Locals.
Yeah, the locals.com thing, and we actually I started a locals.com page for this site. I don't know, about 4 or 5 years. It was right after Dave and them came out with it, but we never managed to get it anywhere. And one of the things there, obviously, it's just the time. So hopefully, okay. Steve says that
yes, it blocks the chat.
Okay, so I'll have to do something about that. I'll redesign that positioning later.
What would be great would be if it just had the scrolling chat down one side of the screen. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's doable-ish.
It should be doable-ish.
It is.
Because being able to see just the one chat at a time sometimes can be confusing for the audience. But nonetheless, we've had people say, "Hey, we kind of like you guys. We want to give you monies." And Chris and I talked about it, and it was
We've had
like,
a few people trying to send us money however they can, and I'm like, okay, shit, here, put it here.
yeah. Chris and I talked about it. Was like, well, I guess if they want to send us monies, we should let them send us
I'm not going
monies.
to tell you no. If you offer to buy me a coffee, I will drink the coffee.
And if you offer to buy me a $5,000 camera, I will let you buy me a
the coffee. I will drink the camera.
Yes. Right.
So yeah, a couple of housekeeping pieces there, and a few more to come in the near future.
We are going to do some local stuff. We're kind of nailing down a format. I have a suggestion. I'm going to hit it with you on air. I'd already decided I was going to do this.
Oh, fun.
Now, what if once a month we do a local show, and you'll understand why this has to be locals. And we just go like full-blown tinfoil hat, whatever. Like just bam, conspiracy theory locals show.
You mean that exact area that sits between the Daily Show and the infamous Thread?
Well, no, that exact area where like you see an article and you're like, "Is this the Babylon Bee? Because this might not be the Babylon Bee."
And then you notice, wait, this is totally the Babylon Bee. Why aren't they satire anymore?
Man. Okay, all right. Let's say good morning to some people because there's lots of memetics to get through this morning.
Yes.
So much memetics. Let's
see. Well, we got Stryker with First Blood, and Stryker, I saw your message about the LA. I think it's the LA County Sheriff that they're trying to oust, and
I also saw because I have admin privileges.
Indeed. And I hate to say it, but I don't know what, if anything, we'll have time to do on that. I have a thought, and I'll run it by Cameron off air. And I'll say something about it in the infamous Thread later this evening, but we might be able to do a little something to help, but I'm not sure, just timing, because the call is tomorrow. I see a Steve, I see a Pitt Danny. Good morning, good morning. Some of my favorite ladies are in the chat. There's Megan and Danny. Good morning, ladies. Good morning.
And Patrick Brown.
And
you said some of your favorite ladies.
Oh.
All right. Crackshot is with us. And then let's see. Pancho is with us. Pancho Ramirez. Let's see. And then, of course, Danny's with us. We love Danny, our friends over at the TPS report. Man, one day I'm not going to have to think about that. And I think that's everybody. If we didn't say hey to you, yell at us and we'll say hello. Okay. Let's do it. Let's get right to it.
If the Babylon Bee was from England, would it be a wasp? I think the Babylon Bee could be a wasp simply headquartered in Boston, my man. So what are we talking about this morning? We're going to talk about
couple of things, hopefully, but let's start with
We're going to talk primarily about the conviction of Steve Bannon. And it is Me More Monday. There's a reason that we're talking about Steve Bannon on Me More Monday. Other stories of this kind we might put off until after Me More Monday so we can, stick to that kind of theme of the Me More. But it's important for you to understand that the conviction of Steve Bannon is absolutely a part of the Me More, because it's important to understand that when we're talking about the Me More, what we're talking about is an active, shots fired, and I mean that literally, war of psychological warfare, psyops, propaganda. Right? This is the culmination of some of Obama's work, essentially removing the handcuffs that prevented government agencies from using propaganda against the American people in psychological operations. And when you look at something like the January 6th committee, it's an illegitimate committee. And I don't mean that in the way that AOC and her sycophants mean illegitimate when they're talking about a decision by the Supreme Court that, that's a perfectly legitimate decision. those justices all arrived on the court by the means of the Constitution that are put there to place them, to select them, and then came to a conclusion based on the law. When I say that it's illegitimate, you look at the construct and the inception of the January 6th committee, and it's literally a group of hand-picked people who were chosen for the explicit basis that they are biased against the most positive outcome. They are biased toward the most negative probable outcome. And the best evidence that they can offer, the best evidence at all that they've been able to offer on the claim, Scott Adams was talking about this yesterday, in fact. The best evidence they can offer is that Donald Trump wanted to get rid of the magnetometers at one of the event locations, citing that he said, nobody's going to try to hurt me. They're Republicans. They're not going to try to hurt me. They're not going to try to hurt anybody else here. And his statement was correct, right? Conservatives in the crowd, armed or otherwise, were in no way interested in hurting each other or Donald Trump. And that's another thing that is consistently true of conservatives. We don't just randomly commit acts of violence, especially on large crowds. Right? We've seen this to be true with the many mass shooters.
It's a Tea Party guy. Well, no,
nope,
it's not. Oh,
nope.
This one's a Tea Party guy. No. It's a racist. No, oh, yeah, it's a racist, but it's a leftist racist. So we're just gonna look the other way.
Yeah. Every time you get one of these mass shooters and he leaves a manifesto, it's just
I used to be a communist, but communism wasn't good enough.
It's a total regurgitation of Marxism right up until it decries Marxism as not being adequately Marxist. I was all into Marx, and then it dawned on me that Marx wasn't commie enough for my taste.
Let's see. We had a Diggs. I'm gonna assume your name is Diggs BT Dubs 7 has joined us from Twitch. So good morning. Hi, what's up, G?
And my mother has joined us, which I assume means
Mom.
that Sergeant Major's watching. And by the way, if you're watching, Sergeant Major, there they are.
Please do not point out to the Sergeant Major your crooked hanging of the things that he gave us.
Shut your face hole. I didn't want to put another hook on the wall. I didn't want to cut another hole in the backdrop.
So instead of waiting until tomorrow when you could hang them up proper, hey man, why whole-ass it tomorrow when you could half-ass it today?
It wasn't about timing. I don't want to do it, period. There's already holes in the backdrop. I don't want to put more holes in the backdrop to hang a thing up. I don't want to buy another backdrop soon.
Oh, well, yeah, okay.
See the hooks on the wall? The hooks there are mounted to a piece of plywood.
I know.
That's behind the backdrop.
I know.
So I've
seen the other side of the curtain.
Yeah.
I know. I've literally seen the other side of the curtain.
So
Bannon
has been convicted
of contempt of Congress, which, let's be fair, there's about 330 million Americans. If contempt could be inferred, we're all guilty.
Yeah, I have nothing but contempt for any elected official today, with the possible exception of Ron DeSantis.
Yeah. So we talked about this before when he was first brought up on these charges, and I'm still not entirely sure where I land on this because obviously what Bannon has done is go, oh, you mean that totally illegitimate committee? Oh, gosh, I'm sorry. I'm trying to put it away, but, I just can't, right? And emotionally, we cheer him on, okay? But as Chris and I were discussing the prep for the show when this first happened, I asked the question, I said, okay, what if the Republicans were in charge and we subpoenaed a bunch of Antifa and BLM types to say, hey, yo, remember that summer where you did millions of dollars in property damage, right? And then they just ignored the subpoenas. Well, we would want them to be held in contempt. So, there's some nuance here. And
go ahead.
And also, Bannon could have done this because he's a hero, right? Or Bannon could have done this because it's on brand for him. And when you say it's on brand for him, what do you mean? So, well, here's the deal. What if I could offer you and say, hey, do 6 months in jail, but then, partner, you're set for life. You would be tempted to take that 6 months in jail, especially if it was part of your brand. So there's a lot of layers to this as to whether or not the contempt is appropriate. The committee's illegitimate. Let me be 1,000% crystal clear on that, okay? The committee's illegitimate. But, is the contempt appropriate? And then the reason for the contempt, do you think that it's legitimate? When I say legitimate, I mean emotionally legitimate. Or are you cynical about it? That Bannon did this, it's power play. Like his grandkids have their college paid for by doing this. You know what I mean? Like it's...
Well, and you mentioned, what if a Republican group were to subpoena a bunch of people over
I did do that, didn't I? It's almost like I knew what was coming next.
Yeah, it's funny that you should mention that, because in that case, you're talking about a thing that actually happened. An insurrection was conducted by an obviously politically motivated organization. And more importantly, the insurrection was organized and executed by a centralized organization with a name to whom the majority, like the overwhelming majority of your elected Democrats donated money, and specifically donated money to bailout funds to prevent those people who committed murders and arson, right? And understand, murder is handled by the local police. Arson, which was committed en masse by BLM, is always a federal crime, always rises to the federal level. But your current spit roast in chief explicitly donated money to help those people avoid justice. And of course, rules for thee and not for me.
Hey, can I make a suggestion? Before we flip over to this, can we let a certain super sexy Hawaiian tee it up for us? Is that possible?
We can do that.
Because I know where you're going.
You mean the good old Hawaiian punch?
Yes, the good old Hawaiian punch. Yes.
Of Congress. Yet other
So
no
let's
matter what
back
you
that
think
up.
or feel about Steve Bannon, the fact that he has been found guilty of contempt of Congress, yet others have faced no consequences at all, people like James Clapper, for example, sat before the U.S. Senate under oath and lied directly about an NSA program that was conducting mass collection on millions of Americans. Or John Brennan, for example, as CIA director, he spied on Senate staffers, lied about it, and also broke into Senate computers to read emails from whistleblowers to members of Congress. Now, both Clapper and Brennan kept their jobs and to this day still have faced no consequences at all, what to speak of being charged and prosecuted and found guilty of the crimes that they committed. Now, this is just the latest example, unfortunately, of how our Department of Justice has become a political weapon being used by those in power to go after their political enemies. No matter what you think or feel about Steve Bannon.
Is that a dye job? Does she do the Cruella DeVille thing on purpose?
I don't care.
But
I don't care.
And she makes a great point. I also want to remind you,
we scooped TPS.
And Alex, please believe I sometimes see news break after we've done our show on a Monday or a Thursday, and I think, well, son of a bitch, I would have talked about that tomorrow, but Alex is going to beat me to it tonight.
Yeah, in particular, the transition from we're referring to our friends at the TPS report. Go sub to them on YouTube. They're good friends of the show, and yeah, their Thursday night show in particular, like when they got their first crack at Elisha, I was like, there is nothing that they're going to say. There's nothing that we're going to say on Friday morning that they probably did not already say on Thursday night. So,
and well, almost nothing. Yeah, every now and then we can differ a little bit on those because, as Alex has pointed out, largely because he's British, I'm just a harder far right leaning philosophically than he is on some issues. Surprisingly though, I don't think the gun one is one of those. Well, maybe. I'm pretty much all for obliterating the entirety of the background checks and licensure. I think Alex may be okay with limited background checks, but that's a whole other conversation.
All right.
And I've seen a couple of I do see your comments about the little banner there, and I didn't realize that. I'll have to fix it after the show, but yes, I'll get rid of the banner. I'll put it somewhere else. I can fix that. So.
Yes. So, do we want to? There's a couple of things.
Alex says, did y'all shoot the Eli drill over the weekend? No, I didn't have a chance to do that.
Yeah, I worked.
That would have been awesome.
I mean, it would have been awesome, but Steve says, "How 2A are you? RPGs at Walmart."
Hallelujah.
Yeah, I'm okay with that.
The proper Eli drill, my man, is you've got like 120 chickens, and one of them's painted red.
Sure, why not? That's whatever. Okay.
Shoot the red chicken.
Duh. Okay.
So, yeah. Eric Holder was held in contempt of Congress when he refused to turn over documents related to the investigation into the Fast and the Furious. And...
Hey, did he get found guilty of that?
Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, okay, he got found guilty, but did he get found Steve Bannon guilty of that?
No.
Oh, it's funny.
He was just held in contempt and just walked away. Treated it like nothing happened. It amounted to nothing.
Didn't I send you another thing? She mentioned James Clapper. Is it in the?
Oh God, I hope the other. I didn't check the other link you sent me. I hope it's not the French beef stew.
Hey,
thing.
we could do a review of the French beef stew. I'm okay with that.
Yes, but I don't have time to cook a French beef stew before the show is over. Okay, so this is the one?
I think so. You barely have time to cook a French beef stew before the... Oh.
So what I wanted to see is if you could give me a yes or no answer to the question, does the NSA collect any type of data at all on millions or hundreds
Watch his
of
face.
millions
Watch his
of
face.
Americans?
No, sir.
It does not.
Not wittingly. There are cases where they could inadvertently, perhaps, collect, but not wittingly.
Yeah. Hey,
That's what a liar looks like.
man, not only is that what a liar looks like, that looks like somebody that gets his ass handed to him every time he tries to play poker. I mean, seriously. You know what? You want to know what it looks like when you bite into a sandwich and there's an ingredient on there that you were not expecting at all? That's the face you make.
I don't think he looks like somebody who's bad at playing poker, because there's not a lot of poker that gets played when you're in the GIMP box until somebody needs to trot you out for the show.
I know, right? Like, and so let's be clear. Bannon gets, and he's probably, if I had to guess, I'd say Bannon's going to do 3 to 6 months in jail. Like,
yeah.
That's probably going to happen. Okay. So Bannon gets in trouble for that. Eric Holder doesn't get in trouble for some weird, bizarro. Hey, Krista joined us. Good morning, Bubbles. Good morning. So Bannon gets in trouble for that, but Eric Holder doesn't get in trouble for refusing a subpoena for some bizarre backdoor scheme to sell guns to the cartel in Mexico that end up being used to kill border cops. Not to mention how many Mexican citizens probably died because of those transactions.
Roughly 1 metric shit ton.
Oh, yeah, sure.
That's a lot.
And then James Clapper straight up, like, lies to Congress, okay? No perjury, no contempt, but Steve Bannon? That bad old Steve Bannon. He's going to jail because how dare you with the January 6th and the insurrection.
Well, I mean, Hillary perjured herself in the
orange...
email investigation, and there was nothing that came from it. When I say she perjured herself in that investigation, she made an explicit statement to the FBI, and then she made the opposite explicit statement under oath to the Congress. So it's possible that she did not perjure herself to the Congress. It's possible that she merely lied to the FBI, which is itself a crime. And she was charged with neither.
And I don't think lying to the FBI should be a crime.
I agree.
I mean, like, hello, Fifth Amendment? Maybe.
But it is.
But it is. Whatever. Okay. Cool. But But sure.
I think Eleanor is losing her mind.
Yeah, I think our viewers know that your toddler is not having a good morning. And what's funny is she probably is having a good morning. She just doesn't see it that way.
Probably.
So anyhow, that's Bannon. We have a few minutes left. How quick do you think we could chew through?
With 5 minutes left, we'll take. I'm going to go ahead and put the number up on the screen. I'm going to go ahead and put the call-in number up on the screen there. And
Pit Danny points out something that Bannon had executive privilege and the others do not.
that is correct.
And that's important. Oh yeah, start with
because-
the Elisha memes. That's
Yeah, for clarification, everything that was subpoenaed from Bannon is correspondence between he and Donald Trump, which is absolutely covered by executive privilege. Because what they were looking for is a smoking gun that Trump told Bannon that he was going to do X, Y, and Z, or that Bannon suggested to Trump that he should do X, Y, and Z. So that's all covered by executive privilege. Correspondence between the president and his staff, whereas the stuff with Eric Holder was not related to. He claimed executive privilege.
Oh,
but
brother!
What he was being asked for were specifically documents related to the purchase and disposition of firearms with U.S. taxpayer dollars, not correspondences between he and Obama.
Yeah, I'm gonna. Come on, Chris, you can't put that together. He probably was telling the truth. That was absolutely executive privilege. You don't think Obama knew?
Oh, I'm certain that Obama knew.
Yeah, that he was in on it on the planning phase. And let's be clear, this is what Bannon did, okay? And then I swear I'm going to shut up about it. But what Bannon did, this is important. He could have. I'm gonna say this real quick, and then we're gonna say hello to our caller. What Bannon did is he actually protected not only himself but protected Trump and protected everybody involved in it. Because have you heard the supercuts of General Flynn's testimony before though?
Oh yeah.
Where he just says, "I take the fifth, I take the fifth,
Yep.
I take the fifth." That sounds bad. Okay, it's the kind of thing where, like, if you play a 30-second clip of it for somebody like a normie on the news. That sounds awful. Now, you and I know that that's actually a really smart play.
Correct.
But if you're trying to convince the nation of a false narrative, that's what Bannon didn't want to do. He didn't want to go in and take the fifth and take the fifth and take the... Because somebody even said, well, all they had to do was just show up and take the fifth for every question. And it's like, why? So they can run it on the news? Oh, Steve Bannon is so guilty. All he could say was, I take the fifth for everything other than, is your name Steve Bannon?
Yeah, and in the Rittenhouse trial, Rittenhouse pled the fifth on something, and the
Bingham. Bingham tried to use that against him.
to say, oh, well, you wouldn't refuse to testify unless you had something to hide.
And the judge was like, you need to
plowed his ass over it.
And Bingham looked like he liked it.
Yes, he did.
Hey,
all right, you're on the air, Sergeant Major. What you got?
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh. Oh, no.
Is a little confusing.
Wait,
Okay,
now I can hear it. Now
there it is. You were on the you were on the phone, but not on the air. Okay, now you're on the air.
While he's talking, can we look at this?
Yeah, go ahead.
Oh,
old man.
much better, because I was getting that delay, and it was causing my ears and brain to not function properly.
I told you about that speech jamming thing. So what you got?
Yeah, so the speech saddle thing was getting me. I'm going to say this. We went to Fort Gordon over the weekend and saw the play called The Addams Family. Absolutely hilarious. And I say that to remind everybody, get out and enjoy life, and don't let the political BS slow you down. Life is great, and politicians are garbage and always have been. Have a great day.
Thanks for calling in, old man. We love you.
There
We'll see you
go.
later.
That's hard to argue with. Okay.
And in the future, I need y'all to shut me up before you call in to talk to me, because I could definitely hear me on the TV behind the old man as he was talking.
Right?
So, here we go. This is a great one. And this is going to be our only meme today because it's time to get out the door. It is 0800 already. But Cameron, we got Cameron does the meme dumps in the morning. Greenwood Mall shooter, I have a rifle. We have you 4-1. 40 foot away with a pistol. I like those odds. Man, I do like those odds.
See, and if you've seen The Mandalorian, you know who wins this fight.
Yes.
And honestly,
if you've ever seen any Star Wars ever, you know who wins this fight.
hey, look, you could do it. Take 60 seconds and just burn through this chain. It can happen.
Oh.
It can happen.
Okay. Oh, lost it. There it is. Okay. Food court ballots. What the hell? I'm clicking the thing.
Patrick says this is the way.
Pistol training at 25 is a waste of time. If you shoot someone that far away, it's murder.
Is it though?
And that's true. If you can shoot somebody at 40 feet. All right, we used this one on the show.
We used this one already, but it was so
Friday
good.
morning,
I felt
but
like
it's
it had to come back.
An incredible marksman. It would be an honor to meet him. Twitter universe, if you could arrange that meeting, please do. Kyle Rittenhouse. And, if there was any way in hell that meeting could happen on this show, I would kiss God. That'd be amazing. Is that all you had on those? Is that all you had?
I told you it was just a quick
Okay.
one. I had everything. You keep telling me to organize the memes. I went
Yes.
through the trouble of organizing the memes, and then there's literally like a dozen we didn't even get to.
Well, we had a lot to talk about on Bannon this morning.
Maybe.
All right.
Maybe I don't know. Maybe tomorrow. Let's see what the audience thinks. Should we finish the memes tomorrow, or should we just do a brand new topic, or both?
Let me give you a coin flip on the finish the memes versus a brand new topic tomorrow, because we still haven't seen what the news holds today, and it might get interesting. After the conviction of Bannon tried to drop his weekend stunt, today might get real interesting. So, if nothing super sexy happens in the news today, then we might give you a both or just the memes tomorrow. You got anything else to close up on?
No, I think that's it. Meme War Monday accomplished.
All right, and I'll try to get that banner situation fixed in the corner there before we go live tomorrow. Love you guys, and we will see you tomorrow. That one.